I felt myself in my own earlier life that when I was ready to learn, I would learn, rather than pressurising the child at an early age and thereby creating blocks and various things, that one would get there. It would take a little longer, but first of all you produce the person, and then you educate the person.
The social and emotional and aesthetic, all sorts of kinds of development of a child are just as important as their academic development. And in the seeming freedom and even chaos at Kilquhanity, this is in fact education that is going on in a very real and a very important sense, I think.
Freedom to misbehave, to be aggressive, to be their own selves. That was also in the Kilquhanity office. But more than that, the thing that struck me about it was that everyone enjoyed life there. In other words, the pupils were enjoying school.
Kilquhanity School lies on the edge of wild country in Galloway. Of the 37 boys and girls, a few are sent by the local authority, the rest are fee payers at around £400 a year. The ages range from 8 to 18. They get large helpings of 3 of the basic elements of childhood: fresh air, mud, and as much freedom as... There's no swimming pool, no gym. But there's a river and a pond, a log cabin and a wooden fort, and plenty of Tarzan-type fun. The school was founded in 1940 by John Aikenhead, and he's run it ever since to what he terms the rule of love.
The idea behind the school is to allow people to find themselves. And that goes for the grown-ups as well as the children in the place.
How do you do this? What are the main differences between this and a conventional state school or boarding school?
I don't know if the ordinary school sets out with the same, you know. But the general means of allowing this to happen here is a provision of freedom, of time and space. You don't set out with such a hidebound curriculum, and you don't set out with a tight day of lessons.
Does this mean the children can do more or less as they like?
Well, no, I think they're given a chance to do the things they like doing. You're free to begin learning algebra here, or German, or French. But if you decide to learn French, it isn't good enough, I point out then, to come to the class only when it comes up your back, because you have to meet the requirements of a new situation, the class, the time the teacher has, the time the others have, the time you have, the method the teacher thinks good, your abilities. All these new laws come in, and so you must keep to the laws. I mean, people say, as free as a bird in the air, a bird's keeping the laws of aerodynamics.
A child's world swinging at a child's pace. In every school day, there are great slabs of time when nothing is planned, when just about anything can happen.
Well, the thing I like about this thing is you can do things by yourself. I mean, you can't be always bossed by a teacher, you know. I mean, to do something, you've got to do it all together, and if you haven't got time to finish one part, you've got to go on to the next part, you know. Yeah. Like if you're making something out of cardboard, you cut one strip, and if you haven't cut it yet, the teacher says go on to the next bit. You just, you know, there's not enough time, and you do ordinary things like math and English, and
you can do it in your own time.
You learn how to look after yourself and things.
The thing I like best when you're in, you always get hot orange juice. You always get hot orange juice when you're ill. I like best.
What about the teachers here compared with yours?
The old teacher, she was very cool, really. She used to give you a strap if you got about 3 sums wrong. Yeah. So I was always so scared. I was always getting a strap every day. Yeah, but
as often as that, were you getting it? Or quite often?
About 3 times.
So you were rather frightened by teachers, were you, before?
At my old school, my teachers were horrible. You had to sit in desks all day. There wasn't any playtime if you got even one scratchy little thing wrong.
Now, Mary, you were saying that you were rather frightened of teachers, were you?
Well, you see, you know, you get all het up and you say, oh dear, if I get this sum wrong, it just makes you go wrong. That's why I couldn't sort of get it in them. My first thing is I had a teacher, and you know, when I was 5 to 6, you know, she used to send me in the corner practice every day. Yeah, I didn't exactly. So like that, you know, I thought it was right to send me in the corner because, you know, I was terribly young then. I didn't realise at the time, I don't think, that this one should be sent in the corner. Yeah, well, our last school, I suppose we learned more maths and English and things, but, you know, yeah, they were a bit too advanced. They used to carry on. They didn't sort of stick in it for a bit, you know, to get into your head, but they just carried on, and they were very strict, and they didn't understand you if you didn't, you know, if you didn't understand it, they wouldn't understand you. They get very, you know, het up, yeah.
The school is run on a shoestring, says John Aikenhead, and the children weave the shoelaces. They do most of the farmyard and the household chores. Some jobs, like cooking the breakfast, are paid for at 1 and 6 an hour. The rest, like sweeping, peeling the spuds, washing up, are part of the useful work period which everybody does every day. Somewhere, the voluntary principle has to stop. These jobs are allotted by the school council. Accents and table manners they do not fret about. Nobody dresses for dinner. Nobody gets too embarrassed about which knife to use. Meals are, well, informal. Compulsory lessons in the morning last an hour and a half. In this class, one boy is making a kaleidoscope, one is working out the area of the Earth, another is writing a letter. And when a thread of noteworthy achievement does come to light, it's held up for all the class to admire.
There's no feel, really. What do you mean?
You know, he has the command of his own life.
Jolly good. I say, kids, what do you think of this? His ma doesn't like long hair much, but she says it's up to him. Now listen to this line. So he really has the wheel. Doesn't that transform that bit of writing? It suddenly comes good. So he really has the wheel. There's no wheel at all in the room. What does he mean? Oh, you think?
Steering, you know, I mean, he has command of his own life.
Exactly. You see, you're all sitting in the old van, but Steve's at the wheel. Who decides where the van goes? A guy at the wheel. So here's John knows he's in charge. His mum might not like long hair, but he knows he's in the field. He's going to boss it, eh?
The pace is slow. There's no daily ration of examination ground to be covered at all costs. No Kilquhanity student aims at 8 or 9 O-levels at a time.
Never at a go. Never. 3 or 4 in a year. This is enough. I mean, it seems to me ridiculous. Criminal compression, cramming of a youngster, and a distortion of real learning to think at 14 or 15, because he's bright, he'll have passed 6 or 7 or 8 O-levels, so that in a year he'll be able to specialise and do 2 or 3 A-levels. This is how you get your grey-faced exam passer. The kid who never has jam today but always jam tomorrow. The kid who can't enjoy being at school because of what he's to do to get to the university. At the university, what he's to do to get a job. In the job, what he's to do to keep up. It's a pretty awful view of life. I mean, who's having the fun at all?
Do you feel that happiness, then, is the real key to education? As long as the kid is happy, this is what you should strive for?
In fact, I've chosen a definition of education that includes the word. It's not mine. It's Sir Herbert Reed's. Education is the generation of happiness. The generation of happiness. You know, you don't narrow your aims. You don't reduce your work. You don't reduce necessary disciplines by taking that definition. The generation of happiness. This is the work, the real work, the creative work that must go in to let happiness be developed, and to let happiness grow, and let happiness flower, And no human is happy unless he's meeting challenges, solving problems, finding himself. This is happiness. You know, your young crook, your maladjusted child is just an unhappy person.
Science, and boo to the O-level syllabus.
Fire!
Rockets, turnip printing, shoemaking, blowpipes. These are the stuff of science at Kilquhanity. The present science and maths teacher was trained as an architect, but he's what John Aikenhead calls a real scientist, and sometimes he goes to the slaughterhouse to prove it.
Well, we can't help it, really. We're in the country. We keep... We've been to the slaughterhouse. This skull came from there. We've got the calf's head. And we've seen the insides of animals in a way. It's not too pleasant.
It seems, as far as science is concerned, to be in total disregard, almost contempt for any kind of syllabus. Is this the way you feel about teaching? That
Yes, and I think with this age range, I mean, there's one older boy who's working on, who's been making some rockets. He made this simple one first, and we fired this one. Didn't go too well, so this next one he put fins on. And then he modified the fins on the last one because that one didn't go too well. So he's doing some pretty sort of advanced science in a way that's involving maths, calculating the size of the fins and all this. And chemistry, mixing the fuel, firing it electrically as well.
At least 1.5 hours before lunch each day is spent on free choice. When they choose art, the children don't sit in rows, all drawing the same vase.
Don't look like writing.
Art tends to be abstract. You can paint anything you fancy, including yourself.
The important thing is that they should have the opportunity to extend their experience, and it might not necessarily produce a work of art. It might produce a horrible mess, but it's important for them at that time, you know, something happens whilst they're doing it. So they don't really set any aesthetic standards at all. Aesthetics are really a parallel thing to living qualities, I think.
Now, why doesn't somebody sing something? Arthur, you're always singing something. What's the matter with you?
All right, what do we sing? John Brown's body. No, I don't like it anymore. Let's do. I've been working on
I've been working on the railroad just about... I don't say Camden. I'm sorry.
If you're sure, Kate.
Yep. Yes, there it is. Camden, 5 miles.
Every week, the pupils produce the broadsheet, threepence a copy, stories, poetry, and hard news.
Right. Well, I think the boar escaped yesterday and wandered across the courtyard and into the fighting between the Saoirse and Nicky's bedroom. Okay? We'll think about a title for it later, but that should be good hard news.
At Kilquhanity, the cult of games playing has never really got a grip. There's no great kudos to be gained from playing for the first 11. There isn't one. The fourth best man on the field is a collie dog.
Well played, Corky. Look at me when you throw. Another one.
Aikenhead considers they learn some rather more fundamental things about sportsmanship. Having a care for the little ones, making sure that every rabbit gets at least one rounder. In short, charity. And he has little time for fierce competition between schools.
I think this is dangerous. I don't think this is of any value at all. I can't think it's of any value. I think for the individual boys and girls, I think they like to win and they like to be encouraged. But I think, well, I can think of the situation in America, you know, where the game has become so important that you have loyalties to that scheme of work out of hand altogether, I think. Dangerous, too, physically.
Perhaps the most remarkable feature of Kilquhanity, remarkable because it really works, is the school parliament or council. It meets every week and everyone attends, and the teachers have one vote like all the rest. Everybody has a say. They make the rules, try the defaulters, and pass the sentences, and stiff ones at that. The teachers, like the children, are bound by council decisions.
John Williams 6 and leaving right around, and Anne 7 and 6 are going on the loose. Apparently she was warned a couple of times and brought down, and then she went back up again. She hasn't been fined yet, so I just wanted to mention it.
I think we should let the meeting warn her this time, and then see what happens.
Well, Margaret thought she would be fined as well, because me and Margaret warned her quite a lot of times.
Okay.
Well, everybody was warned, and I was fined for going loose. There was a general warning then, this term.
Well, listen, Anne, you hear that? People say they've warned you already. So this is getting really warm. Next time you will be fined, okay?
This is 1,000 times better than mock debate, is it? Mock parliamentary debates, or thinking up a subject that will debate. Week by week, real feeling comes in. Somebody loses his pocket money or a proportion of it and feels this unjust and comes away with it. And somebody's defending somebody sees somebody maybe suffering and brings the point up. This is the beginning of real concern for community values. A small school like this, with all the ages, can be called inefficient today, in a narrow sense, you know. But this is only in the sense of very narrow subject learning or academic progress. It isn't inefficient when you think of the almost unmeasurable values that are being developed, like charity and patience and...
Do they ever cane one another?
God, no, heavens, this would... No, never. There would be never any idea that corporal punishment could come into it at all.
At Millfield, the other co-educational school we visited in this series, the girls spent hours dressing for the Saturday night hop.
How often, in fact, do you sort of dress up and go to town?
Because I think of dressing up. There's no such thing. You change into a skirt to go into Dumfries shopping or to the pictures or something. But you don't dress up to go to a big dance or anything. Put on a dress for school parties, but you don't dress up.
You don't feel you're missing anything here?
No, I don't think so.
What about you, Tony?
Something not having to bother with such stupid, petty things.
But you will presumably want a boyfriend sometime. Do you aim to get married? And
Yeah. Well, I had a boyfriend here last year. We went round together for a year, but we didn't have to go out. We were just, among ourselves in the school.
what kind of school were you at before?
Conventional girls' boarding school.
Very conventional, very strict, or not?
Very.
In what ways does that differ from here? What do you appreciate most in the way of change?
And being trusted and freedom. Here, which just didn't exist at my last school.
Do you feel you're treated more like an adult here, is that it?
I think so, yes. I think being trusted is a very big thing here. You are trusted by everyone.
What was the attitude at your last school, Tony, about boyfriends? Did you have any? Did you ever meet boys there?
Yeah, I think boys were just regarded as something entirely different and to be worshipped more than anything, not treated as equals or anything, which was stupid. And the girls just giggled at the mention of the boyfriend, and the staff's attitude was that it was just wrong. They didn't seem to see him, because most of them, of course, were spinsters, probably never known a man, so they didn't want us to, I suppose.
Do you think there's any risk in the freedom you're giving here?
No. Well, at first when I came here, I thought there might be. I thought I'd run wild, and I think perhaps for the first few weeks I did, but, I didn't bother going to lessons or anything. So now, when you find out what you want to do, you just do the things which you'll need.
Do you actually give them sex education? Do you talk to them about sex yourself, or are they left more or less to find it out?
They're not left to find it out, but they're seeking all the time to find it out. And you play it by ear. For instance, in the byre, milking, I've given more lessons about sex while I've been milking and seeming to be disinterested in their avid questions. To new children especially, I've given instruction galore like this. Then you watch individual relationships ripening, and you know the possible dangers, so you instruct them. We don't deliberately set out a scheme of sex instruction. But there are men and women in the school whom boys and girls are talking to intimately as they approach a family.
At other schools, or at my last school anyway, you're sort of pushed into a way, and you've got a routine, and you've got a timetable, and the bells. I think they're trying to put you into grooves and make you all the same. And then you come to a place like this, and you can just wander around, and you're encouraged to just think on your own, creative.
Like in English, you say to you,
now we're going to do poetry this lesson. Write a poem. Well, here, as Tony said before, you can just, do it any time you like. And and the broadsheet, I think that's where that helps a lot. Paper, because you can put your own views into that, and you haven't been told to do it.
What do you think is important for schools to give to children by the time they leave school?
Independence. And a mind that they know what they're going to do, and they've got the willpower to do it. And I think this school is very good for that.
Any others got an answer to that? What do you think schools are for? What should they equip you for?
I think they should equip you for life, as you have to go through it. But as state schools stand now, you find yourself learning lots of stuff that you might never need, but not being able to cope with situations in life. I think here with our council meetings and just being with people all the time, you find how to deal with situations and with people, which helps you to prepare life for life more than an ordinary school does.
these other schools, you should come out very nervous, and a lot of people not show yourself. Here you're not being continually told you're a failure the whole time. What you are good at, you build up around that.
Why do you think it is that in these days, and you've been running a good time now, there isn't more pressure for places here, that you haven't got a queue of people waiting?
Well, I imagine that the wholesale freedom that people probably imagine that we practice would frighten many people, and I think parents, to far too great an extent, are frightened today by the kind of success they think should be attending their children's schooling. And I mean academic success. They're afraid of failure at the O level. Now, this will keep them from looking for places here, and of course it's expensive too. Unless you're a rich person, you can't send a child or two children to a school like this. I admit this. But there could be schools like this in every county. There should be a choice of schools. I would be happy. I might say I would die happy. Prepared to say I would die happy if there was a parliament in Edinburgh and a school like this in every county in Scotland.